Louis Witko was an average boy, living in an average neighborhood. He had friends, family, and anything else a young boy could ask for. He lived in this house in northern New Jersey his entire life. His father, Davis Witko, loved him very much.
You know, Louis, he was a good kid. He was a really good kid. And he was just an average kid. I mean, he loved to read. I bought him a bike when he was little and he loved it. He's just, you know, you just never think that such a bad thing could happen to such a good kid.
Louis's life changed when he started getting in trouble with the law. He began engaging in illegal activities. Law expert Matthew Wallace helps us understand the legal perspective of this story.
Here in New Jersey, we have some very simple rules. You can't kill, you can't steal, and you can't eat pickles on a Sunday. You just can't.
Louis had a hard time accepting these realities. For example, in New Jersey, house cats are required to have bells around their neck to warn nearby birds of their presence. It was rumored that Louis's cat had no bells.
I don't think there's any way I could have predicted what was going to happen to Louis. I mean, it was so unexpected. I saw these changes taking place, and I ask myself now, is there anything I could have done to stop it? And I don't know. I mean, I just don't know.
Louis Witko was on a one-way road to disaster.
In New Jersey, we now have rules against things such as eating pickles on Sunday, throwing and littering those pickles into the street, dancing on Main Street in shorts, slurping soup, boiling bones on the property. We have laws against knitting during the fishing season. And there are consequences for breaking these rules, and I'll be honest, these consequences are fierce.
Louis's life started taking serious turns for the worse. Louis became more and more addicted to his law-breaking habits, and finally, it caught up with him. Photos were being circulated of Louis maliciously breaking the law. It wasn't long before local law enforcement caught on to Louis's antics. Undercover law enforcement officer James Crump was the first to investigate, although what he found was far from what he expected.
It's been recently called to my attention about all the law breaking going on right under our noses, and you know, quite frankly, it's disgusting. So that particular day I was getting calls about illegal dancing on Main Street. So I'm thinking, you know, it's going to be a standard arrest, you know, everything is going to go smoothly. But you know, I got to house, it was horrible. I walked out of the car and there were old pickles everywhere, all over the street. It was disgusting. It was possibly one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And, you know, right away I knew something was wrong. When I walked into the house, a cat ran by me. And this cat had no bells on it around its neck, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, if there were birds around, they would have no idea that this cat was here. I mean, it just blew my mind. Well, then I walked up the stairs and I saw a pot of boiling bones sitting on the stove, just sitting there boiling away. And I mean, that's when I lost it. You know, there was a garbage can just sitting in the middle of the kitchen, and I just ran over it and I started throwing up into the garbage can. I couldn't stop it. Like, I could not stop it. I just throwing up everywhere. It was gross. It was absolutely gross. And I just hear these slurping sounds coming from everywhere. It's like somebody was just slurping soup. So I go to try to find the source of this slurping noise. I come up and I see this kid sitting in the corner of a room eating pickles. I snap. He started running. I chased him down and I threw him to the ground. And, oh. There's no type of training that can prepare me for what I saw that day. It was awful. It's just a really tough thing to see your son being taken away in handcuffs to be put in jail for the next 16 years. It's just a really tough thing.
You gotta respect the law. You just got it. You know, and I'm seeing more and more young people today with a gross disrespect for the law. This has to stop.
All my friends were doing it. It seemed like so much fun, and I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I mean, you hear stories about people getting caught, but I never thought it happened to me. I thought I was invincible. I thought I was Superman.
Louis then spent the next 16 years of his life in a state prison. It's hard to believe that such an innocent kid could commit such horrible crimes. Louis Witko will go down as one of the most dangerous criminals in New Jersey history.
In criminals, we're talking about Levi Walker, murderer. We're talking about Alton Coleman, serial killer. We're talking about our Mark Langfield's murderers. And now we're talking about Louis Witko, our illegal pickle consumers. I mean, where does it stop? Where does it stop?
Although Louis's life is now ruined, and it seems like no positive can be taken from this, we can still hope that maybe Louis will be a shining example to the younger generation on how not to live your life. Maybe Louis will someday save our sons and daughters. But for now, we are forced to take from the past only that which is good and move on. Perhaps, in the process, we can build a brighter future.